There's something most men don't realize until it's too late. Women aren't just craving passion, they're craving presence. She's not asking you to be a performer, she's hoping you'll be a partner. And when it comes to the bedroom, that difference can make or break not just a night, but a relationship. You think it's all about drive, but what if what she really wants is depth? Let's dive into the 5 intimate moves she secretly craves, but may never ask for. Let's start here. Women often remain silent about their deepest desires, not because they're unsure, but because they're afraid you'll shut them down, laugh it off, or feel threatened. And the truth, most men do, that silence doesn't mean she doesn't want more. It means she's waiting to see if you're capable of handling the real her, the one that wants closeness and chaos, softness and strength. She wants to feel safe enough to let go. Can you give her that? One of the first moves she's quietly hoping for is face-to-face intimacy, where you're not just looking at her, you're seeing her. Positions that bring your eyes level with hers, while your bodies are joined, create a raw, unfiltered moment. It's not about dominance, it's about devotion. She wants to feel like she's not being used, but chosen. These moments, simple as they seem, unlock the kind of connection that lasts far beyond the physical. But here's the catch. Most men avoid this kind of position because they're afraid of losing control. They prefer the rhythm they dictate, the angles they trust, the roles they know. But when you're always the one in charge, she's left adapting to you. And over time, that feels like disconnection. Letting her lead sometimes isn't weakness, it's wisdom. When she guides the motion, the depth, the speed, she feels powerfully in tune, not just with you, but with herself. Another underestimated experience she wants is slow rit, HMI connection, where movement isn't rushed and pressure builds gradually. You may think speed equals passion, but for her, speed without intention feels hollow. Deep, slow strokes, especially in seated or side-by-side positions, trigger not just physical sensitivity, but emotional safety. She starts to feel her body open, trust deepen, and arousal rise in ways quick sessions never allow. It's not about getting there, it's about being there together. Too often, couples forget that sex isn't just about what's visible, it's about what's felt. Small things like adjusting angles with a pillow beneath her hips or finding the right rhythm that syncs with her breath can completely change the experience. These aren't technical fixes. These are love languages. When you show her that her comfort matters more than your ego, her body responds with trust. And trust is the gateway to explosive, unforgettable intimacy. Let's talk about a craving most men overlook completely. Intimacy with emotional guidance. She wants you to ask, not assume. Do you like this? Do you want to try something different? These questions aren't awkward, they're everything. They tell her she's not just a body to react to, but a soul worth listening to. Most men try to perform. The right man learns to listen. And in doing so, he unlocks more of her than he ever imagined. You see, women remember how you make them feel. Not how long you lasted, not how adventurous you were, but how seen they felt in your presence. So many partners jump into bed without ever learning how her body works, what lights her up, what makes her tense, what brings her joy, and even worse, they assume asking makes them weak. But asking doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you one worth surrendering to. There's also a growing desire in many women for shared, emotional space during intimacy, not just the physical closeness. That means turning the lights low, putting away distractions, and entering the moment without rush or expectation. These are the sessions she craves, the ones where she doesn't have to put on a show, where she can breathe, relax, and let pleasure come to her naturally. These aren't just nights of sex, these are nights of healing. Now, let's get practical. One of the most powerful positions that women want more of is the seated connection. Her straddling you, facing you, fully embraced. Why? Because it's not just a physical posture, it's emotional openness. She gets to wrap her legs around you, move at her own pace, and feel your breath against her chest. It's intimate, grounded, and powerfully connecting. But too many men dismiss it as passive. In reality, it's anything but. Another overlooked element is the importance of body support. Not every position feels good to every woman, especially without the right setup. Maybe your bed is too soft or your surface too hard. Maybe she needs her hips propped up or her back supported. Instead of powering through discomfort, the right move is to adjust. Bring a pillow. Use your arms. Shift the angle. These micro changes transform discomfort into pure pleasure, and she'll feel deeply cared for. One of the biggest myths about sex is that if she doesn't say anything, everything's fine. But silence is rarely satisfaction. Often, it's resignation. She's quiet because she doesn't want to seem difficult, because past partners didn't listen, because asking feels like a risk. But when you invite her voice, when you say, "Tell me what feels good," you hand her the mic. And for a woman who spent years being quiet in bed, that invitation is life-changing. It's also crucial to remember that many women don't climax from penetration alone. That doesn't mean she's broken. It means what? I'll need to understand her blueprint. Her pleasure is more external, more layered, clitoral stimulation through hands, grinding, slow pressure. These are not extras, they're essentials. Positions that ignore this leave her disconnected, but positions that include her anatomy, her rhythm, her voice. That's where the magic happens. Let's also break the belief that change ruins momentum. In truth, shifting positions midway, slowing down, or even pausing to ask how she's feeling. Those things build anticipation. They show her that you're tuned in, that you care enough to check in. It turns the experience from something you do to something you share. And when she feels shared with, not just used, her body responds with trust, relaxation, and fire. There's one more truth you need to hear. Your confidence in bed doesn't come from knowing it all. It comes from staying curious. Every woman is different. What worked before may not work now. What she liked last week might not feel right today. Staying curious, asking, adjusting, exploring, isn't about insecurity. It's about leadership. It's about proving you care, more about her joy than your pride. And that kind of man is unforgettable. Emotional intimacy doesn't begin in bed. It begins in how you hold space for her needs, her fears, her wildness. When she feels like she doesn't have to dim herself to keep you comfortable, she blossoms. And that's when the most powerful kind of sex happens. The kind where she melts, but not just from touch, but from the safety of being known. And all it takes is your willingness to see her. A woman doesn't just want sex. She wants to feel wanted, cherished, protected. She wants to feel like you're not rushing to finish, but lingering to connect. And the moments that give her goosebumps aren't always physical. Sometimes it's the way you breathe with her, the way your hands move slowly, the way you pause to kiss her forehead. These are the moments that live in her body long after the night is over. So, here's the real takeaway. If you want to become the kind of man she never forgets, stop thinking about technique and start thinking about attunement. Show her that her voice matters, her body matters, her comfort matters. Let her lead sometimes, let her rest sometimes, and above all, let her be all of herself with you. Because when she feels safe, she becomes electric. And when she's electric, so is your connection. She's not asking for fireworks, she's asking for truth. She's not looking for performance, she's searching for presence. And the man who gives her that becomes her secret favorite. Not because he's perfect, but because he saw her. So the next time you step into the bedroom, bring your body, but don't forget your soul. And if this conversation stirred something in you, if you're ready to understand women on a deeper level, not through tricks, but through truth, then you're exactly where you belong. This is the Woman Code. We talk attraction, emotional depth, and sexual mastery without the noise. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because this is where the real conversations begin, and you won't want to miss what's coming.